Hey guys, we are back with an exclusive unboxing video and we have an announcement to be made. So stay tuned till the end of the video for the announcement. Samsung released few devices on January 13th, so we thought why don't we unbox a device which majority would buy even though most of the tech channels didn't review it. The Galaxy A30 and Galaxy A31 were simple mid-range phones that targeted customers who didn't need many bells and whistles. That would have been true for the Galaxy A32 as well, only Samsung has made the phones stand out by equipping it with a high refresh rate display, which has only been seen on flagship Galaxy phones up till this point. It's a 90Hz Full HD Plus panel, so it's not the best you can get, but for a lower mid-range Galaxy smartphone, it's a fancy feature that no one had expected. However, like the Galaxy A31, the Galaxy A32 is powered by MediaTek chipset, which instantly brings its ability to offer a good experience on a high refresh rate screen into question. But hey, the Galaxy A32 isn't a one-trick pony. Even if you never used a high refresh rate, you're getting a few other attractive features like a 5000 mAh battery and a 48MP quad camera setup and the latest Android and Samsung software out of the box. And in this unboxing and review, you will find out whether all of those features come together to make the Galaxy A32 a worthwhile purchase. So let's get started. Alright, soon after opening the box, on top you have the device. Let's talk about the device in a bit. And in this small box, we get a case and some paperwork. Also, you get a fast charging adapter, charging cable, and a SIM ejector. So it's time to talk about the A32 in detail. Talking about the design for the vision of Samsung A32 5G, we can also say that it is available in several color options: black, white, blue, and purple. I love the new design language Samsung is pushing on its A series phones in 2021. It's a minimalistic approach that includes a plain black without any fancy patterns, and on the A32, the camera sensors just stick out from the main body instead of having a dedicated island of their own. I find it all very cute and a fresh take on smartphone design from Samsung, one that we will see on the other A series devices as well, such as the Galaxy A52 and Galaxy A72. The Galaxy A32 is also quite compact by modern standards, and it doesn't feel very heavy for a phone with a 5000 mAh battery under the hood. One way in which the Galaxy A32 feels outdated is those sizable bezels around the display. This phone might have a high refresh rate to separate itself from previous Galaxy A3X series phones, but this is still the old Infinity U display we have seen on many cheap Galaxy mid-rangers. The display of the Galaxy A32 is the first Samsung phone with an AMOLED display and a 90Hz refresh rate. When the phone was first announced, I had little reason to believe that the MediaTek Helio G80 chipset inside would be able to handle the high refresh rate well, and my mind hasn't changed after using the phone for a little over a week as my daily driver. Thankfully, the display is otherwise as good as you can expect in the sub $300 segment. It's sharp, has vivid colors and deep blacks, and sunlight legibility wasn't too much of an issue. The built-in optical fingerprint scanner is quick most of the time, though I had plenty of instances where it didn't recognize my fingerprint, so it isn't perfect. The 48-megapixel main rear camera takes 16-megapixel pictures using pixel binding, but I found detail in those pictures to be somewhat lacking. Switching to the full 48-megapixel mode is necessary for capturing higher detail, even if you get somewhat poor dynamic range when you do that. However, whether 16 megapixel or 48 megapixel, noise is well controlled in daylight pictures and indoors when there are some bright artificial lights in the scene. Nighttime performance without much artificial lighting is nothing to write home about, but that's to be expected from a Galaxy phone that costs less than $300. Results from the ultra-wide camera are barely serviceable in all but natural daylight, and even then there's a clear lack of detail when you start zooming in. And the macro camera that Samsung is equipping all its cheap phones with continues to be horrible because of the low resolution and the lack of autofocus, which makes getting the right focus a tough thing to do. Speaking of modes, the A32 comes with a few basic options such as panorama, a basic pro mode, hyperlapse, slow motion, and AR doodle. Video recording maxes out at full HD at 30 fps, and video quality is okay as long as you don't move around because of the lack of optical image stabilization. Talking about the software of the Galaxy A32 is one of the first few Galaxy phones to come with Android 11 and One UI 3.1 out of the box. As is typical of these lower mid-range phones, Samsung has stripped the software of some of its best features such as all Bixby features and a built-in screen recorder. One UI 3.1 features like video call effects are missing as well. However, you do get Google Discover on the home screen, and Google Messages comes set as the default SMS app. It's currently unclear if the Galaxy A32 will make the cut for the Samsung's promise of 3 major OS upgrades, but it should get at least 2 big Android and 1 UI updates and 4 years of security update. More details here. That's more than what most manufacturers are providing to phones this cheap, so the A32 has an upper hand whether or not it gets a 3rd big OS update. The Galaxy A32's performance is strictly mediocre. It runs fine for a few minutes and then suddenly starts lagging and stuttering in everything from simply swiping open the notification shade to the opening camera app. The camera app sometimes takes up to 4 to 5 seconds to open, and once it does, it takes another couple of seconds before you can start switching shooting modes. I'm surprised the 90Hz refresh rate even works on this phone because general performance outside of gaming seemed worse here than it did on last year's Galaxy A31, even though that phone was powered by a MediaTek chipset with slightly underclocked processor cores and GPU. The gaming performance is somewhat better, however, thanks to the higher clock speed of the GPU inside the A32. By that, I mean you can play AAA titles like PUBG, Call of Duty, and Asphalt 9 at their default graphics settings, which is usually the medium preset, something the A31 struggled with. Just don't expect the 90Hz refresh rate to come into play in any title, as that level of performance is beyond what these humble MediaTek chipsets are capable of. The 5000 mAh battery inside the Galaxy A32 is good for 2 days of light use, and even with heavy use, it'll last you till your bedtime. This is with both the high refresh rate enabled and disabled, so it's a pretty impressive showing, and it's a good thing too because this phone takes a long time to charge. 15 watts charging is no longer considered fast despite Samsung's insistence on calling it so, and you're looking at almost 2.5 hours to fully top up the battery from zero. If you want faster charging, one of the recent Galaxy M series phones like the Galaxy M31s or Galaxy M51 is your best bet. The Galaxy A32 would have been easy to recommend if it didn't have so many performance issues. The versatile cameras, outstanding battery life, and the latest software are nice, but the slowdowns in day-to-day use, the phone's inability to properly drive that high refresh rate display ruins the experience. Most customers would be better off buying the Galaxy A51 from last year, especially if they're upgrading from a Galaxy A30 or Galaxy A31. So it's time for the announcement. We would like to let you guys know that we are working on something new and big, so we are sad to say that we won't be uploading contents for the next few days, but guess what? It'll worth it once we are back with the things we are working on. Stay tuned for the update on our big news. Till then, what do you guys think about this device? And if any of you have used this phone, share your experience and thoughts in our comment section below. Like and share this video with your loved ones and subscribe if you already haven't. Don't forget to turn on the bell notification. Till then, I'm Amani signing off from Geek Forum.